Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, North and South Korean leaders decide on a date for the first meeting between presidents of the two nations in over a decade.
The former executive director of Hull's Drive-In has pleaded no contest to charges of indecent acts with a minor.
Yoga in Rockbridge County has gone to the goats. We'll explain.
And how saying "I do" is good for the local economy.
All that and more on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news for Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Katherine Young.
And I'm Faith Isbell. President Donald Trump's son-in-law is huddling with his legal team this afternoon after 6 House Democrats accused him of leaking classified information to Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince. The call for FBI Director Christopher Wray to investigate White House aide Jared Kushner comes after an online publication claimed Kushner revealed the names of royal family members disloyal to the prince. The publication added that the information on the Saudi royals not loyal to Mohammed bin Salman was given to President Trump in one of his daily briefs. A spokesperson for Kushner's lawyers denied the initial report.
The White House is also facing questions today on whether President Trump considered pardoning former campaign chairman Paul Manafort and ex-National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. CNN's Jim Acosta reports.
Good afternoon.
Dodging nearly every question coming her way, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders struggled to answer whether President Trump's legal team floated the prospect of pardoning former campaign chairman Paul Manafort and former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn in the Russia investigation.
I did not talk to him about it specifically, but again, I've been in a number of conversations. It's never come up.
Sanders largely relied on a prepared statement from White House attorney Ty Cobb to deny that the president's former outside lawyer, John Dowd, raised the pardon idea. Cobb told CNN what he told the New York Times, which first reported the story. I've only been asked about pardons by the press and have routinely responded on the record that no pardons are under discussion or under consideration at the White House.
Look, I would refer you back to the statement from Ty Cobb. As I said, an on-record statement from the president's attorney here at the White House on these matters has said there's no discussion or consideration of this.
The president didn't close the door on the possibility of pardons in the Russia probe when he was pressed on the issue late last year.
I don't want to talk about pardons for Michael Flynn yet. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I can say this. When you look at what's gone on with the FBI and with the Justice Department, people are very, very angry.
Embattled Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin is the latest cabinet member to be fired by President Trump. Trump has nominated current White House physician Ronnie Jackson as his replacement. CNN's Andy Rose has the story.
Another White House cabinet shakeup. President Trump replacing the man charged with overseeing the needs of our nation's veterans with his personal physician.
The question is, are these people going to do a better job for the American people? I don't know the answer, but the turnover really is extraordinary.
Trump thanked now former Secretary David Shulkin via Twitter for his service to our country and to our great veterans. The trouble began for Shulkin following a trip to Europe. A damning report from the department's inspector general found the VA leader spent a good deal of time sightseeing and inappropriately accepted a gift of Wimbledon tickets. A White House official called the issue a distraction from the president's agenda. Still, Shulkin remains popular on the Hill.
I've had the chance to meet and work with former VA Secretary Shulkin a number of times over the last few years. I found him to be competent and a tireless advocate for veterans. But obviously it is the president's choice who will serve in his cabinet.
Ronnie Jackson, an active-duty Navy physician, now tapped to take over the second largest agency in the federal government. Jackson took on an unusually public role earlier this year, briefing the media about Trump's health amidst questions over his mental fitness.
I don't know the White House physician. I look forward to learning more from confirmation hearings.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
Delegates from North and South Korea decided on a date for a meeting between the two leaders of the two nations this morning. The summit is set to take place on April 27th. It will be the first formal meeting between presidents of the two nations in more than a decade. In an announcement, officials said the talks would focus on denuclearization and inter-Korean relations. South Korea's president said he wants to set the stage for a historic meeting between North Korea's Kim Jong-un and President Donald Trump. Trump has agreed to the meeting, which could take place as soon as May. A former Halls Drive-In movie theater director was convicted of committing indecent acts with a minor and embezzlement. Reporter Ellie Ankney has an update from the Rockbridge County Courthouse.
Jeremy Reeder served as the executive director of Halls Drive-In for 4 of the 6 years that he worked there. He was in charge of the nonprofit's finances. On Monday, Reeder pleaded no contest to charges that he committed indecent acts with a 16-year-old girl while she worked for him at the drive-in. He also pleaded no contest to charges that he stole over $400 from the drive-in in 2017. A judge found Reeder guilty on all 5 charges. On June 26th, Reeder will have his sentencing where he can face up to 40 years in prison. Back to you.
Thanks, Ellie. You can read more on the Rockbridge Report's website.
Lexington taxpayers might not feel a pinch in their pocketbooks next year. The proposed budget for fiscal year 2019 includes no tax increases. But City Manager Noah Simon says Lexington needs to keep boosting its revenue to break even. He says the city could benefit from greater development downtown and more local spending. The City Council will vote on the budget May 3rd. Up next, the school lunch program that will feed thousands of Buena Vista students this summer.
Rockbridge weather has transformed from snow to summer in just a week. I'll tell you if spring is finally here.
All that and more after the break.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
%61% of students in Buena Vista public schools qualify for free and reduced lunch during the school year, but many of them don't get it in the summer months. Last year, a summer lunch program at Enderley Heights Elementary School helped fill the gap, and this summer, the BV schools wanted to expand to 2 more sites to meet an increase in demand. The program will serve anyone under 18 years old. Last year, the program served 2,000 children.
Dabney Lancaster Community College is looking to double its class of new forestry students, and the school hopes to lure them in with a bulldozer. The Virginia Department of Forestry donated the bulldozer to Dabney a couple of weeks ago. The school is using the opportunity to promote its forestry program to younger students. The head of Dabney's forestry department head says graduates of the program receive 2 to 3 job offers, and not enough young people are taking advantage of the ripe job market. Check out rockbridgereport.wlu.edu to see how Dabney is reaching out to high school students to expand the program. So today has been a beautiful day. I think we reached nearly 80 degrees.
Crazy.
So is spring on its way?
I think it's safe to say that spring has definitely sprung, but it's coming with it a couple showers. Let's take a look. So now we have our weather almanac, where, as Faith was saying earlier, we have a high of 79 and a low of 58. Barometric pressure is 29.85, wind speeds are 9 miles per hour, and humidity is 42%. Now let's take a look at our current conditions in just a moment, where we can see that Covington is the coldest with 66 degrees, Charlottesville warmest with 80 degrees, but we're not very far behind. We have 75 degrees in Lexington, Buena Vista is 75, Staten 75, Roanoke 76 degrees, and Lynchburg with 77 degrees. Here we have our radar where you can see not much is going on, pretty much not a cloud in the sky. And now we have our 5-day forecast where you can see Friday we're expecting some showers, a high of 64, a low of 35. Saturday the sun's going to come back for just a brief moment, a high of 61, low of 45. Sunday overcast skies, a high of 61 and a low of 37. Monday and Tuesday we're expecting showers with a high of 53 and a low of 37. Tuesday a high of 58 and a low of 59. So if you're expecting to take advantage of this warm weather and do some outdoor yoga, I expect you to take advantage today and not put it off. So back to you guys.
Thanks, Aspen. Outdoor yoga sounds great. Many fitness trends come and go, though. The latest one, goat yoga, hit Lexington last Sunday. Our Paige Williams was there for the debut.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Last November, Mike and Heather Meads purchased the Autumn Ridge Cottages, a vacation spot in Rockbridge County, and turned an old barn into a yoga studio.
Well, I have heard of goat yoga, and we have goats at home.
We wanted to offer
something different that other than traditional yoga.
Meredith and Nicholas Anderson traveled all the way from Charlottesville to partake in this new experience.
I want to do something that is absolutely absurd. Something purely silly that has technically no purpose.
And purely silly it was. Laughter was frequent at Anderson's first goat yoga class. She said she didn't think she would get the chance to do it.
I've heard of it on the West Coast, like in California, and I honestly didn't think it was going to make it to the East Coast. I'm really happy it did.
For yoga instructor Susan Dixon, the animals brought a sense of unity to the class.
The animals, I was hoping, and I found this to be the case today, brought in an element of lightheartedness and camaraderie that doesn't always happen in yoga.
Dixon said the element of humor in goat yoga is precisely what makes it so relaxing.
We are so focused and driven, many of us. It's really hard to relax, and it's almost worse when someone tells you to relax. I think that a lot of people worry about that, and with the goats here, that's definitely not happening.
Goat yoga at Autumn Ridge is going to be every Sunday afternoon. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Paige Williams.
After the break, springtime rings are set to add millions to Rockbridge County.
And later, why Russia just expelled 60 U.S. diplomats and shuttered our St. Petersburg consulate.
0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
When it comes to saving money,
What? Parents!
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting. This is so humiliating.
Be the boss.
I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap. You were saying.
And make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read. What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
at feedthepig.org.
The wedding industry will once again bring millions to Lexington and Rockbridge County come April. Ellie Cosgrove talked to local venues and vendors to see exactly how much the local economy will benefit.
Snow was on the ground just last week, but local venues say wedding season is right around the corner. Christina Day, the catering sales manager at the Natural Bridge Historic Hotel, said Lexington, Rockbridge County, and surrounding areas are home to many venues that are gearing up.
I mean, there's so many different places to get married here. There's anything from, you know, your little do-it-yourself kind of weddings up to where everything's done for you.
The average wedding at the Natural Bridge Historic Hotel costs about $10,000 to $12,000, depending on how many guests. Day said some weddings are even more expensive.
We've done one that was 250 people, that was $17,000, but that's really like the high end here.
Antonia Albano, owner of Heartstone Lodge and Retreat, says these events boost the local economy and bring in business for many local vendors.
They also use the local hotels, they use the local caterers, they use the florists, they use the tent rentals.
Owner of Big Springs Farm, Buddy Powers, says his venue averages about 130 guests per wedding, who end up spending money at other businesses. Each wedding has an average budget of $30,000, including the dress, catering, and flowers.
So it has a really big ripple effect of at least, $6 million over the last so $2 million a year to other businesses. And then you figure all the money that's being spent by all the guests, add that on top. I mean, it's for a small area like this, I think it's a significant economic driver.
John Stallard, the owner of Chef's Catering in Lexington, said weddings provide a lot of business for his company.
I would probably say 70% of our annual sales, I guess, for lack of a better term, is probably weddings.
These venues bring in guests from all over the country and from different parts of the world, making the Shenandoah Valley a global meeting place. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Ellie Cosgrove.
The Russian foreign minister announced that 60 U.S. diplomats will be expelled from the country and the U.S. consulate in St. Petersburg will be closed. This follows the U.S.'s decision to shut down the Russian consulate in Seattle and to expel 60 Russian diplomats. The Russian move came after the hospital, treating a Russian ex-spy and his daughter for poisoning, said today that the daughter is recovering. This chilling mystery sparked an international crisis after the pair were found unconscious and critically ill on March 4th. The hospital says ex-spy Sergei Skripal remains in critical condition. British authorities say they were poisoned with a military-grade nerve agent made in Russia. They're focusing on the home of the former Russian double agent to examine how the toxin was delivered. UK police said the highest concentration of the nerve agent was found on the front door. The judge overseeing Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial refused to step down today. Cosby's lawyers demanded he recuse himself because his wife is a social worker and advocate for assault victims. His defense team is also fighting to let jurors hear from a woman who says accuser Andrea Constan discussed making up allegations so she could sue and get money. The 80-year-old Cosby faces charges that he drugged and molested the former Temple University athletics administrator in 2004.
Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy is being ordered to stand trial on charges of corruption and influence peddling. Today's announcement marks the second time Sarkozy has been sent to trial since leaving office in 2012. He is accused of taking millions in illegal campaign financing from then Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. The former president has denied any wrongdoing. Jurors have begun the second day of deliberation in the trial of the Orlando nightclub shooter's wife. The jury asked the judge questions about specific terms mentioned in the charges today. Noor Salman is charged with obstruction and providing material support to a terrorist organization. She faces up to life in prison if convicted of all charges.
Sacramento remains on edge less than 2 weeks after the deadly police shooting of a 22-year-old unarmed black man. Tensions are high as Stephon Clark's funeral is set for this afternoon. John Lawrence reports.
11 days have passed since Stephon Clark was killed.
Our streets! Our streets!
And protesters are still calling for accountability. A funeral for the 22-year-old is set for Thursday, with the Reverend Al Sharpton delivering the eulogy.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Clark's death has sparked numerous protests throughout Sacramento over the past few days, and authorities are preparing for more rallies after the memorial.
People want to be heard, and we have to give them that opportunity.
Since the shooting, protesters twice blocked basketball fans from entering Sacramento Kings basketball games, and some disrupted a city council meeting earlier this week.
What they're doing right now, stopping people from going into the Kings game, acting all silly at City Hall of all places, and in front of the mayor and the council members, that was totally wrong.
The state's attorney general is investigating the fatal shooting, while Clark's loved ones want an independent autopsy.
The family of Stephon Clark doesn't trust anything that comes from the Sacramento Police Department since they were not told the truth at the very beginning.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Students at Perry McClure High School in Buena Vista will participate in a mock car crash the Thursday before prom. The school's Interact Club hopes to raise awareness about the dangers of distracted driving. The event should also encourage students to be responsible before and after prom. The fake victims covered in fake blood and makeup will then be taken away in ambulances, a copter, and even a hearse. It's been 4 years since the last mock car crash scene at PMHS. Next, why New York City's former mayor is getting an earful.
And shouldn't the
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Oh, emojis! I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls, just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you.
She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze.
Help up the hand.
Ah, there you go. Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Zane!
A low-income apartment complex for seniors and disabled people in Glasgow will be remodeled for the first time in 23 years. Landmark Property Management Company based in North Carolina first bought the Skyline Manor Apartments when it was a historic school. Now, the building is old, appliances are outdated, and windows are drafty. Landmark Vice President Sam Sari says renovations are overdue. The development will cost a total of $3.8 million. Glasgow Town Mayor Bill Rolfe says this reflects a greater need for affordable housing in Rockbridge County. Read the rockbridgereport.wlu.edu for details on how the developers are seeking help from Richmond to cover much of the cost. There is still one more day left of the Rockbridge SPCA's Rabies Clinic, where pet owners can have a veterinarian vaccinate their dogs or cats for $6. Tara Rohde, director of Rockbridge SPCA, said they typically vaccinate about 600 animals during this week-long event. Pet owners can purchase 1-year or 3-year vaccines, but proof that the pet has already received the 1-year version is required before the animal can receive the longer-lasting one. The clinic will be open from 1 to 3 tomorrow afternoon. Rohde said it will be busy, so grab Fido and head out there early to beat the crowd.
Hey James, it's going to be a busy week in sports. Tell me about it.
Indeed it will be. So the Final Four will be played this weekend on Friday night in San Antonio. On one side of the bracket, we'll have the number 1 ranked Villanova play the number 1 ranked Kansas. And on the more upset side of the bracket, we'll have number 3 Michigan play against the only 4th 11th seed to ever make the NCAA Final Four. That's Loyola Michigan. The championship game will be on Monday night. And from the look of things, Loyola Michigan looks like they have a chance to be the first 11th seed to ever make the national championship. And so the 2018 Major League Baseball regular season begins today, and it's the earliest opening day in history. Last year's record-setting home run season picked up right where it left off, with the first pitch of the season being hit out of the ballpark for a home run by Chicago Cubs second baseman Ian Happ. The Houston Astros are the defending World Series champions. However, the New York Yankees are right on their tail with the addition of Giancarlo Stanton, who hit a 2-run home run in his first at-bat as a Yankee. In local news, Virginia basketball coach Tony Bennett was named the AP Men's College Coach of the Year. Bennett won the honor today after his Cavaliers set a program single-season record for wins. At SVU, the baseball team lost to the University of Mary Washington 4-3 on Monday. They are playing Frostburg State this afternoon in another conference matchup. The women's lacrosse team took down the Wildcats 17-4 on Tuesday, and they will take on the Salisbury Seagulls this Saturday in Maryland. The men's lacrosse team won its first Capital Athletic Conference matchup of the season, 13-9 over Marymount University last Saturday. And in Lexington, the WNL baseball team was defeated by Bridgewater on Tuesday, 10-3. The men's tennis team defeated Roanoke 9-0 in Bridgewater College, 7-2 this week. The Generals are now 6-3 overall and an undefeated 6-0 in conference play. The team will play Hampden-Sydney this Saturday. And the football team hired 3 assistant coaches to, quote, round out their program. The lacrosse team has appointed this game against Hampden-Sydney on Friday as a Headstrong awareness game. The Headstrong Foundation serves as a resource to cancer patients and their families. It allows teams across the country to dedicate games and to raise awareness and funds. At VMI, the baseball team lost to Radford 8-6 on Tuesday. They lost after the Highlanders broke a 6-6 tie in the 11th inning. Former guard and forward Ron Carter was announced as a 2018 inductee into the SoCon Sports Hall of Fame. Carter helped VMI basketball to 2 championships in the 70s, and he was the first VMI cadet athlete to ever have his jersey retired. And that's all for sports this weekend. Catherine, back to you.
Thanks, James. A new study suggests that scientists may have found a newly identified organ in the human body. It's not a distinct, well-defined organ like the heart, liver, or even the skin. It's made up of widespread fluid-filled spaces in and between tissues all over the body, known as the interstitium. Scientists have long known about interstitial tissue and fluid, but the new study raises the idea of calling it an organ. One of the co-authors, published in the Journal of Scientific Reports, thinks it may be the body's largest organ. The study also indicates that it may play a role in the spread of cancer cells. What happens when highly capable people, like America's leaders, can't seem to figure out everyday things? New York City's former mayor got an earful after he misused his headphones. CNN's Jeannie Mose shows us.
Should it worry us that President Trump's informal advisor on cybersecurity was nabbed wearing his AirPods upside down? And shouldn't the Republican strategist posing alongside Rudy Giuliani have told him?
Do I have something in my teeth?
With AirPods in his ears, the photo went viral. Does Giuliani actually have his AirPods pointing up? Better for getting the signal from Moscow. This is the correct way to wear AirPods, but at least the former New York mayor didn't confuse an AirPod for a blow dryer. The red panda obviously missed Apple's launch.
The future of wireless audio.
Meets the present of a 73-year-old politician. Donald Trump Jr. was photoshopped, perched on one of the pods. The mockery was merciless. It's a straw he shoved all the way through. There were jokes about how maybe he forgot to take out Q-tips, or maybe he was saving cigarettes for later. But Giuliani wasn't blowing smoke. He told the New York Post he had no idea he was wearing the AirPods wrong. Sometimes I wear them with a thing pointing up, sometimes I wear them with a thing pointed down. Everyday items can challenge politicians, from Mitt Romney ironing himself,
Ouch,
to Hillary swiping her Metro card 5 times, only to have SNL reenact the snafu.
I'll just go in the old-fashioned way. I'll take a cab.
And remember when George W. Bush found himself practically shrink-wrapped in a poncho?
Is that the first time?
Yeah. It's
First time putting a
it
poncho
looks like it, that's for sure.
Ellen got him a new one with a presidential seal.
This end up.
And for AirPods, this end up. No wonder Rudy wore them wrong. His up is down.
From the top to the bottom.
Jeannie Mo, CNN, New York.
That's all for today's broadcast. Thanks for watching.
You can stay up to date on the news by following along on our website at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. Have a great evening.